everyone, and welcome to a very chill stream and a first look at Bai Q Hundreds of Melodies. This is a visual novel. It has like around 8 till 12 hours, multiple endings, and it's just like a really nice looking visual novel. I got granted a key by Like Games, so thank you very much for that. And I hope you all will enjoy this just as much as I do. And if you like, then please consider buying this visual novel if you like me and you like playing visual novels. I've only got to know about Li Jiwan's death a week ago. That day, as I remembered, was bland and ordinary as usual. Obituary. I received a delivery package from Sijin's rehabilitation hospital. The package was sent by someone with the surname of Yuan. The person to receive the delivery was Yuan Jun's father. The delivery man had already come twice, and no one was home. The package was received on behalf of them by me, the neighbor. The package was wrapped in translucent plastic, revealing a delicate patterned notebook. The notebook looked rather new and probably wasn't used for very long. This notebook probably belonged to Jian, who could have carelessly left it in the hospital and was sent over by a helpful nurse. Since I had already received it on behalf of someone, I would have to return it myself, I thought as I went down the stairs and knocked on the door of Jia Jun's house. No response was received by my knocking, so I proceeded to ring the old and dull doorbell that was there ever since my primary school days. Still, there was only silence. I knocked even harder on the door, but was again met with silence from the other side. Looks like there is really no one at home. Now that I think of it, it has been quite a while since the last saw Jian Jun's, as well as Uncle and Aunt Lee. This was probably due to my staying in school for most of the time and thus didn't come home often. Just as I was about to give it one last shot.
Oh, 小素啊.
Oh, hi Granny Dong. The granny who called out to me was my neighbor. Looking at the groceries she was carrying, she had probably just returned from the market.
别敲啦，没人儿。
There's no need to knock, the house is empty. Oh, are they out for today? I just picked up a package as meant for Uncle Lee. I don't know when they will be back though. Granny Dong looked at me full of surprise, making me a little bewildered as well. After a few moments she seemed to have understood and shook her head.
对了，你住学校，也好久没回来了。跟你说，他们不在啦。
Can I... No, the voice volume is just Chinese. Oh, you have to deal with that then. It's just Chinese. I cannot put it to English. No English voices. Oh, now I remember. They live in school and haven't been home for a long time. Now, let me tell you, they aren't here anymore. The answer left me a little confused. Aren't here anymore? What do you mean by aren't here anymore?
他们搬走了。
They moved out.
上个月
It
的
was
事
about 2
情。
months ago. Moved out? Oh, now I see. Aren't they doing just fine? Why did they suddenly move out? I was extremely puzzled. And then I thought, maybe they've gotten a new house and moved over. Granny, where have they moved to? Granny Dong shook her head as she started to look a little bleak.
地址啊，我也没有，走得太急了，招呼也没打。
I don't know their new address. They left in such a hurry that we didn't even have time to say goodbye. I see. Sorry to trouble you. I just received a delivery that's probably meant for Jianjun. The sender may have written the old address by mistake. As soon as I finished my sentence, I heard Granny Dong letting out a soft sigh. Soft it might be, but it was worrying to hear. As I raised my head to look at her, her gaze looked duller than ever before. After a few seconds of eternal struggle, she slowly let out a few
小
words.
丫头她
The less
走啦。
she left. Closing my door, I slumped heavily into the chair. Jun has passed on. As much as Granny Dong had tried to phrase it, I immediately understood what she was trying to say. Left? Where else could she have gone? Jun, the quiet but adorable girl that I knew, no longer belonged to this world. Jun was the sole daughter of Uncle Lee, who lived below us. She was born a few years after me and was a docile and understanding child. Despite being considerably older than father, Uncle Lee and father had used to study together both locally and abroad. As a result, our families were rather close to each other. The two even went to work together at the Science Institute. I was born earlier than Jun, therefore it can be considered that I had watched her grow up. To me, whom I happened to be the only son, Jun was like a sister to me. Ever since her birth, Jun had never been in the best of health. It was the norm for her to be admitted to the hospital, take injections as well as medication. She was always a topic of concern amongst mother and father as well. If we hadn't seen her for a period of time, it could be almost certain that she had been admitted to the hospital again. Father said that Uncle Lee was an honest man, yet in mother's words, this person was suited for his brains being used, but not on behalf of the nation. Jun's mother seemed to have given up on research and took up on business instead, probably as a result in her new profession. I didn't get to see her often as over the years. Every time I saw her would most likely be due to Jun's being admitted to the hospital again, or that she had just been discharged from it. In fact, it has almost become a gauge which we use to determine Jun's health. On the other hand, Jun didn't seem to pay too much attention to her health. She had always obediently and cheerfully stayed by the side of her parents. I heard that Uncle and Aunt Lee had tried all sorts of methods to improve Jun's condition. These methods range from Western to traditional medicine, and even to unorthodox methods, when all else failed. Due to long periods of time spent in the hospital, her body seemed to carry a smell that is found in the hospital. Her hair color also seemed lighter than normal people. Because of her hair color, we used to call her yellow-haired lass as an inside joke. It might also be due to these factors that she always found it hard to blend in and mix with other kids. Now that I think of it, only one older girl who is said to be her cousin was willing to spend time to be with and play with her. She also used to have sleepovers at Jun's house. Whenever those two were together, Jun would always look more energetic than usual. Unfortunately, this didn't happen very often. I recall that Jun's appetite was always small. Whenever both the families had meals together, she would be quiet at her seat, gracefully raising her glass to take a sip of water and then slowly putting the glass down. That action had left an impression in me. However, what struck me the most about her was how quiet she was. She would always sit at the side of the window, quietly watching the adults talk with a faint smile on her face. I stayed at home, much less frequently, after I enrolled into boarding school. As a result, Jun has slowly slipped off my mind. Even though Mom and Dad still frequently talk about her condition, I grew to care less and time passed. How could I have known? Just as she slipped off my mind, Jun left quietly, just like that. Quiet, like how she always was. Mom and Dad being out of the house had allowed me to have a rare break. These two had seemed to have dropped a heavy burden off their shoulders after sending me to boarding school. Realizing that life was made so much more enjoyable from not needing to raise their child, now it's much more common to see them leave the house to go on holidays. Because of that, I've gained quite a lot of freedom. Fortunately, due to my self-control, I have not gone too wayward. I wasn't in the mood for anything today. As a result, I cancelled all of my plans so that I could spend some time at home. I took a pencil and drew 2 sketches for my homework. However, these sketches turned out to be way below standard. I put down a pencil as waves of hunger started attacking me. Just as I was about to head for the supermarket, it started pouring outside. It was already 9 PM when I looked at the time again. Running out of ideas on things to do, I decided to sleep early today. As I was preparing to sleep, I heard a knock on the door outside. There really is someone at my door. The knocking was loud, but not hurried. It doesn't sound like the security nor the maintenance guy. I looked through the peephole on my door. It's a man with a bookish look and wearing a pair of spectacles. However, I don't recognize him for anyone that I know of. He is wearing a grey shirt with his pants hidden from the peephole. A slight awkwardness was upon his face and his hair, which was wet by the rain, making him look a little languish. Honestly, he didn't look like a bad person, more like a downtrodden bookworm that you hear from legends. Maybe he has something urgent, I thought as I opened the door. Ah. Hello, you are? Is this Mr. Xiao's house? Yes, it is. You are? I'm his son. Are you looking for my father? Oh, no, I'm... The man seemed like he wanted something, but had difficulty getting it out. My parents won't be at home these few days. Is there anything urgent? I can help to convey a message? Ah, I see. He looked down in disappointment, but raised his head almost instantly and asked rather loudly, May I ask if you have recently received a delivery? I felt a wave of numbness on my back immediately when I heard that. It's either due to my anticipation of the striking memory of that recent package. Hearing the word delivery instantly filled me with excitement. What kind of delivery are you talking about? It's a delivery that was meant for Mr. Lee, who lived downstairs. I asked that only for confirmation, and the reply was as I had suspected. Yes, I have it with me now. You are? Upon hearing my reply, the man let out a long sigh of relief. His initially tense face started to loosen up. That's wonderful. That's so wonderful. He said the same line over and over again in an agitated tone. He seems to be trying to calm himself down by doing that. I stood and looked at him, not knowing what to say. Well, do you want to come in and talk? I let the man into my house. He followed me in without much hesitation. There was ready-made tea in the house. After receiving a cup of tea from me, he thanked me and put the tea aside. The delivery, can you show it to me? Hold on for a moment. I walked to the television cabinet and retrieved the package. It has not been touched. It was still in good condition. Are you a relative, Mr. Lee? I probed as I thought it was too hasty to simply just give it to him. I am not. However, I do know Li Jianjun. This answer surprised me. I paused for a while and asked, You are Jianjun's... How do I put it? We are friends, I guess. This is undoubtedly an unexpected answer. Jianjun is younger than me by many years. She shouldn't even be in middle school by now. The man before me is obviously much older than she is. It does not seem appropriate at all for them to be friends. I froze at my spot, holding the package, not knowing what to do. The man seemed to understand my thoughts and my concerns. He himself seems to feel some awkwardness. I know that this may seem a little weird, but please trust me in speaking the truth. The man's expression and tone have led me to believe him. I walked over and put the package onto the table with my hand placed over. The man did not reach for the package. Instead, he stared at the package with mixed emotions. Looks like he already knew what was inside the package. Is this the one? The man nodded his head. That's right. This is Jianjun's diary. It was given to her recently as a birthday present by a friend. Diary? Everything was too hasty at that time. Everyone was in the right state of mind and the diary got left in the hospital as a result. I see. Can you let me see it? Hold on, does Uncle Lee know about this? Yes, however, Mr. and Mrs. Lee are too occupied and worn out from settling Jianjun's matter, so I was... Alright, if you are worried, I can leave my identification card with you, but please allow me to have the diary. Oh, no, there's no need for that. I just want to ask, do you know where they have moved to? I do. I have been helping them run errands for Jianjun's funeral, so I've been there a few times. It's at Creeland's Gates, near Tangshan Mountain. The man answered all of my questions without showing any signs of lying or trying to hide something, thus I dismissed my suspicions. They've moved such a long way from here. Well, the package? Oh, here you go. I put away my hand and passed the package to the man. He stared at it intently upon receiving it from me, and then held it close to him, as if it were a treasure. Thank you so much. You're welcome. Filled with excitement, he took out his pen and paper and started writing. He then passed it to me. I looked at it. It is written in a beautiful font saying Bai Qu? Bai Qu? Oh, I'm butchering names. I'm not good at Chinese names. This is probably his name. It's very poetic and suited his appearance. Below the name is a string of numbers. It should be his mobile number. I can thank you enough for today. This is my contact. I shall take my leave. Will there be anyone home tomorrow? There should be. That's great. Mr. Lee has something that he wants to pass to your family. I will stop by tomorrow to deliver then. No problem. I will be in tomorrow. As he finished, the man stood and gave me a nod full of gratitude. He thanked me all the way until he reached the staircase, making me feel a little embarrassed. Such a special person he is. As suspected, the man came again the next afternoon. Hey there, sorry for all the trouble last night. It's nothing, please come in. He dressed the same as yesterday, but looked more vigorous, and the cautious attitude, as always, made me a little nervous. Mr. Lee asked me to bring this for your parents. Wei took out a box of tea leaves and a bag of what seemed to be a return gift from attending the Yanjun's funeral. I took them over and carefully kept them. Sorry for troubling you to come all the way here. Your parents? Oh, they will only be back next week. I only confirmed this with them last night. Is there anything that you need me to convey to them? There's nothing much. Mr. Lee only asked me to send his regards and that they left in a hurry and therefore didn't have time to tell you. After a series of greetings exchanged, we unexpectedly started talking. I'm in the 3rd year of college now. I assume I should be a few years older than you? Yeah, I'm only in my 2nd year of high school. Alright, is it okay if I ask about some things? No worries, ask away. I'm rather concerned about Yanjun's incident. I've tried asking my parents after, but they were very reluctant in sharing it with me. Wei's expression started to become complicated upon being asked that. If you don't feel comfortable saying it, then it's fine. I'm just a little curious. It's okay. What happened is the past. It's a long story. Actually, Yanjun has known me since we were young. I've always treated her like a little sister. However, we have not been in contact for the past 2 years, and suddenly, therefore, I want to know more about her. Wei nodded, his expression growing a little more dignified. Truth to be told, I've only known her for around half a year, but it's just, he seemed to be at a loss of words in describing the matter. He just shook his head continuously. If you aren't in a hurry, can you please tell me about it? He nodded his head. Alright, where do I begin? Let's start from when you two first met. Well, let's start from that day then. Bear in mind, the story is going to take a while to finish. And that is how I got to know about this story. The story about Yunjun and the people in her life. The story that happened during her final days. Chapter 1. Mingwen Hospital. The weather had warmed down quite a bit these few days. It is still a long way until summer dawns, however the weather was considered the norm in my city. Mingwen Hospital certainly lives up to its status as a private hospital. Both its facilities and service quality are impeccable. Spaciousness is a key feature along with its medical insurance. The only negative aspect of this hospital will be that it is that too far away. Exiting the escalator, I followed the signboard towards my destination ward. B23, 24, 25, here I am. B26 was the one I was looking for. Dad, how are you feeling?
你来了。
You've come. The person lying on the bed is my father. He was lying back feebly against the bed with ribs attached to him. Mother was at the side, quietly reading her newspaper. I placed the things I brought into the chair by the side and then walked towards his
来
bed.
了啊。怎
You
么
came.
样？
How's
忙呢？
work recently? That sounded rather weak. It seems that his condition had worsened since his admission. I'm more or less done. I will be free tomorrow after handing in a report.
好啊，好啊。等你这阵子忙完了，多来看看你老爸啊。
Good. Come visit me more when you have more time on your hands. Ah, yes, of course. I will be freed soon.
好啊。哎，看你们都好啊，我也就放心了。
Mom, did you say that he is fine? Why does he look worse than before?
没事，已经快好透了。
It's nothing. He has already fully recovered. If that's the case, then why does he still
这
look
些
so...
天医生不许他瞎吃瞎玩，给憋的。
It's just that the doctor has restricted him from doing as he likes these few days. He's just being restless. Just for now, I'm going to turn down the voice volume so I can just read it for you guys. I am so bored. It startled me to death. After since he was young, father wasn't someone who can simply sit down and do nothing. Calling him hyperactive was no less of an exaggeration. Once he was done with work, he would move on with daily errands. Even after that, he wouldn't be satisfied. He dedicated most of his time in finding things to do. As a result, his unfortunate admission to the hospital really made him suffer a great deal. Why didn't you try to comfort him a little? Not going to waste my effort on that. Mother, on the other hand, has always been an ice queen. She never showed much emotion. Even as everyone was made to laugh due to father's jokes, she only sat there and watched quietly. I bought oranges. Can he eat it now? Didn't the doctor forbid him from sour food? Your dad has been begging the doctor for quite a while already. Sign, it definitely wasn't easy for him to bear it for so long. The doctor did not accept his request in the end. What? Then why did you order me to bring them? Oh, I wanted to eat oranges. It's a mystery on how these two can live with each other peacefully. Well, I can't help it if this is what life has planned for me. Come, son, come. Tell me what kind of fun you were having in school lately. I was writing my report. Where do I find time for entertainment? Writing a report again? Didn't you say that 2 days ago? I wouldn't be able to finish it in such a short time. Boring. You're a workaholic, just like your mom, working all day and knowing nothing's about entertaining yourself. Don't you feel bored? I would be so happy and grateful if you said that to me during my middle school times. Of course not. You're supposed to study in middle school. College, on the other hand, is for you to have fun and engage with society. Fine, when I'm more free, I guess. It has been too chaotic lately. Gotta wait till everything's over and you've fully recovered. That's the way. Studying is complemented with going out. Am I right, Mom? Nothing beats you staying still, Mom said casually while eating her orange and reading a book at the same time. See, I'm right, isn't it? Did you really hear what Mom just said? The couple gets louder and louder with their conversation. Just before Dad's roaring voice was about to tear the roof down, the nurse came in to complain. Mr. Wei, can you please settle down? It is still nap time. Oh, I'm so sorry. I will quiet down immediately. Sorry again about the noise. He said it in a voice that was louder than ever. The nurse left the room looking defeated. I smiled sheepishly as I watched her leave the room. I would probably need to go and apologize later, I said to myself. When will you get discharged? I met the doctor a few moments ago. He told me that Dad still seemed a little unstable and will need a few more days of observation. And what did he mean by being unstable? What the doctor meant was that your dad is too much of a troublemaker now. Who knows what he will get into if he was released too early. The kind doctor using subtle words to try to preserve a father's image in front of his son. As a result, his discharge was postponed for a couple of days. What has father done to end up like this? Doesn't matter, he's still covered by insurance. That's true. If that wasn't the case, Mother would probably have dragged him back a long time ago. You two are teaming up to make me suffer. Why blindly follow what the doctor says? Of course we have to follow the doctor. If we allow you to go out and do whatever you want, you will definitely come back here again after a few days. Mother saw the expression on Father's face. You two are bullying me. Father pulled off a sorry face as he said that. I started to wonder if he was already like that ever since he was young. Okay, be honest, troublemaker. Indeed. As long as nothing dramatic happens. Alright, I bought things to entertain you. Oh, you should have said that earlier. I took out the tablet computer out of my bag and passed it to him. Father had been begging for a computer ever since he was admitted to the hospital. He was extremely picky though, with the only ones he was satisfied with being too expensive. 2 gigs of RAM, 128 gigs of storage, high definition screen, as well as a battery that lasts for 10 hours. Happy? Have you transferred the movies? Yes, of course. A full collection of old Soviet movies. Those Yugoslavian ones were especially hard to find. Quick, let me see. I passed over the tablet and taught him the basic controls. Father then instructed me to raise his bed. Once comfortable, he proceeded to watch his movies. A while later, after I settled some miscellaneous matters, Father had already almost finished one movie. Seeing that there was nothing left for me, Mother waved at me, indicating I could leave. Well, if there's nothing left, I shall take my leave. Oh, sure, see you. Father raised his hand and waved at me. His eyes were still glued to the screen. Bring these back with you. What's that? Apples. I know those are apples. Why so many? And all of them are peeled. Won't they turn brown? I know you don't know how to peel apples, so I did them for you. That was when I realized that there were a few extra fruit peelers in the ward. I could only shake my head. Dad got them from the internet again, am I right? How much money had already been spent on unnecessary things like this? Yep, they're already easy to use. See, I said those were good. Yes, you are to blame for wasting money too. That's right. Has this couple ever had a proper conversation? Oh, right, there is something else. What's this? Some sort of waste food wrapped as a gift? This is the first time that I see such a thing. It's a rabbit's head. Your dad's cousin bought it for him all the way from Chengdu. Your dad has been craving it for a while. Why did he think of this? Surely he can't eat spicy food. Also, didn't he mention before that he would never eat anything that's part of a face? Yeah, he did. He can't really tell that it's face, can you? Stop trying to explain for him. Staying with these two would definitely drive me crazy. I took the bag of apples and the braised rabbit head and left the ward. I have to say, Mingguan Hospital is really big. I finally managed to find a nurse station after walking a huge round in the hospital. When I left the station after having a word with the nurse, I had totally forgotten the way to the lift. The walls of the hospital are extremely clean, free of both dust and signboards. I only saw my first signboard after walking for about 10 meters. It said climbing the stairs is good for you. Okay, you were right. Father's ward was on the 6th floor. It's not a very long way to the ground floor, and as a result, I decided to take the stairs. Yeah, it's locked. The door to the safety exit on the ground floor was shut tight. In addition, a padlock was enforced on it as well. Blocking of the safety exit of a public building, you would definitely get fined if I decided to sue you. After saying the line of threat to make me feel better, I could only start to make my way back up. I didn't need to go back up all the way to the 6th floor. I checked the exit door to every store, only to find out that they were all locked all the way till the 5th floor. I have no choice but to find the lift, I thought as I entered the hospital once more. Different from the 6th floor, this one seemed a little special. It has been long past nap time, however this floor is still rather silent, as though not many people are staying on the floor. I walked a few more steps forward. Suddenly, I heard a tune. The sound is made by an accordion. The melody played seemed to be of foreign composition. I searched for its source out of curiosity, finally at the resting area located at the other side of the corridor. I saw the person playing the tune. A dainty little girl sitting by the window playing an accordion that I have not seen before. The afternoon sun shone gently on her, making her skin glow under the light, her light brown hair covering most of her tiny shoulders. Her long eyelashes, coupled with a dazed pair of eyes, added a mysterious effect to her. She sat there quietly like a doll, playing the accordion with her slender arms. A melodious tune drifts out of her instrument. It was as though she breathes and speaks through her music. I gazed at her. Before I knew it, I was already standing in front of her. The girl had already sensed my presence. She opened up her doll-like eyes and looked at me. I too continued to look at her, unable to turn my eyes away. Ah, my apologies. Was I bothering you? The girl shook her head. The tune you were playing, it is beautiful. The girl blushed a little. Thank you. Her voice was delicate and light. I will not disturb you. Can I listen to you play for a while? Okay. The girl seemed a little shy, but nodded her head confidently. I was not sure what had attracted me, the music or the girl. I took a chair and placed it with a little more distance from the girl. I did not look at her directly, but instead turned my head to the side and watched her from the corner of my eye. The girl slowly turned back her head. Soon the music started again. Different from the previous song, this one had a lighter mood to it. The tune was simple and cheerful. I started tapping my feet to the music. My body started to sway to the tune, therefore, without me realizing it. Ah! The music came to an abrupt stop. I played it wrongly. Such a shame. The girl gave a sheepish smile. I I stared at her adorable face without saying a word. The girl just smiled back, not seeming to mind at all. But nothing much to talk about. You two just sat there quietly. The sight was unreal and yet so blissful. It was as though the tiniest bit of noise would have broken this dream. Hey, who are you? Huh? That call behind my back gave me a shock. As I turned around, I saw a curly-haired girl looking fiercely at me. Her slightly sharp eyes added some menace to her appearance. Me? Yes, you. What's your business with Yanjun? I was just passerby listening to her playing the accordion. Listening to her play? Mm-hmm. You're not a bad guy? I suppose not. Ah. The girl seemed to realize that she had overreacted and started to look a little apologetic. I'm sorry. It's okay. Sister told me to be careful because of the number of bad people lurking around recently, so I was being a little overcautious. Sorry. The girls seem to have believed that I'm not a bad person. It is okay to be so trusting. I thought as I observed the girl in front of me. She's a good-looking girl with large curved eyes, and with her curly hair tied to one side, be it the way she speaks or acts, she seems to be brimming with energy. She wore a dark-colored dress. At a close look, it seemed like some sort of uniform. She looks a little older than the girl that was playing the accordion. From the way she spoke just now, it appeared that those two know each other. I'm sorry, Jianjun, I didn't know that both of you knew each other. We don't. The curly-haired girl was taken aback for a while upon hearing that. You, what exactly is your business here? No, I've already said I'm just passing by. Alright, I'm sorry to not be able to keep up with her. Ah, Jianjun, this guy, he's a good person. Haha, EG, come on. After some time, I was finally able to convince them that I'm not a bad person. Do you want some, Jianjun? Ah, no, it's fine. I still can take spicy food. As to how was I able to convince them? This girl with a ponytail smelled the food I was carrying from miles away with that nose of hers. According to her, that was the signature dish of a famous restaurant. I packed it in 3 layers of packaging. How on earth was she able to smell that? I successfully became friends with them after handing over the food. I'm a little worried. This girl will be kidnapped very easily. At that moment, she was munching on the rabbit's head with all her might, probably because of her too prominent gaining tooth. She looked rather vicious while doing that. Wow, you might want to slow down. You're getting it all over your dress. Looking at that face full of bliss, I could only take out some tissues and pass them to her. Oh, thanks. Aren't they spicy? What? Nothing, as long as you like them. Over here, this curly-haired girl is exerting her dominance on the food. On the other side, the other girl is chuckling at her friends. She seemed really happy. Oh, right, may I ask? Yes. This is an accordion? Katerina. What? Katerina. It sounded like a person's name. Is it still the time where people give names to things that they like? It's an Irish hexagonal accordion, known as concertia. Nicknamed as Katrina, am I right, Jianjun? Added the other girl. Yep. She nodded her head in confirmation. Katerina is a nice name. It does sound special. The song you played just now is really good. Upon hearing that, the girl seemed to have become a little embarrassed. She lowered her head while blushing a little. Jianjun's concertia skills are the best. It's not, well, I was definitely moved by it. Being praised by 2 people at the same time, the girl became even more embarrassed and quietly retreated to a corner. Looking at her adorable expressions, I felt a sense of joy building up in me. Oh, right. Just as we were talking, the curly-haired girl seemed to suddenly remember something. When I went to the ward just now, Jiang Qin asked me to tell you to go back. Ah, why have I started eating? She called me. Well, I think we should go back. Looks like their family member had called for them. The 2 girls prepared to leave. Mr. Rabbithead, we shall go back already. Rabbithead? Anyway, can you 2 show me the way to the lift? The 2 girls looked at each other and smiled. Of course, follow me. Ah, finally found it. Thank you for your help. I didn't expect it after all this effort of searching. The lift was just opposite of the resting area. No big deal, right, Jianjun? Yes. Ah, right. Take the whole box with you. No one will eat them if I brought them back. Really? The ponytail girl looked at me as if I was a hero, excitement written all over her face. My god, are you Santa? Don't tell me that this was your wish during Christmas. I will take it then, thanks. Such a believing girl, luckily I'm not a bad person then. Well then, I shall... Ah, mister. Just as I was about to leave, the brown-haired girl called me. My name is Li Jianjun. I was not expecting her to say her name. I froze for a moment. Li Jianjun is her name, said with slight breathlessness in her. A simple but nice name. I'm Wei. Nice to meet you. Ah, I forgot to introduce myself too. The ponytail girl brought out a stylish voice and said, I'm Hijia. Nice to meet you. Both are adorable names. Thanks for the compliment. Jianjun, it's time to go. Well then, see you. Yep, goodbye. What a fascinating afternoon being able to meet those two girls. As the saying goes, an acquaintance made is all by chance. However, this one felt like fate has had a hand in it. Side dishes, fermented bean curd, towel, eye patch, and I confirmed my items once again before I left. Even though there aren't any important matters left, father still needs a great deal of care. Even though he was due for discharge on the next day, the stubborn old man has been craving for fried chicken nuggets. As a result, mom can only turn to me for help. It's only a 5-minute cycle from home to reach the nearest fast food chain. What a month it has been. Taking it as fulfilling my duty as a valuable son, I made my way to the station, hoping that letting father eat them will not create more problems. How can you say no to chicken nuggets? Upon alighting the metro, I headed straight for Myeongdong Hospital and to the wards. I arrived a little later than yesterday. The corridor was quiet. Nap time probably hasn't passed yet. Ah, you've come. What's this? As I opened the door and entered, father was sitting on a wheelchair playing with his tablet, while mother was on the bed reading a magazine. What happened when I was gone? Ah, this thing here is really convenient. It can even move around. I'm definitely going to get one after I leave this place. It can even hold... I can use it... The English. I can even use it to hold groceries. Don't say such things. You aren't paralyzed nor crippled, so you wouldn't need that. Also, what happened to mom? Well, I paid for this bed. These two will be the death of me. You want to eat something? The food's still warm. Oh, you got them? Yes, of course, I'm starving. All these days in the hospital, father seldom had any tasty food. After seeing the fried food that I brought, father stood up from his wheelchair excitedly and came over to me. That wheelchair is really redundant. I set up the table at the side of the bed. Mom hasn't had lunch yet, I assume? Don't worry, I ordered quite a lot. Huh? Where are you? As I turned, mother had already made her way to the toilet and washed her hands. Now she's drying her hands with the towel and ready to eat. And when I turned back, father had already started on a chicken wing. Have you washed your hands? Father ignored me and continued on devouring the food. Can you slow down a little? You have not been discharged yet, and besides, no one here is going to steal your food. I didn't get to eat the rabbit heads the other time. I was so upset. Those were really famous. Slow down, don't scare me. Father was venting his frustrations for not being able to consume the fast food I bought previously. Little did he know that those were probably finished by two adorable little girls. You were well fed since young. You don't know what it feels like to starve. For God's sakes, you are leaving here in a couple of days' time. Besides, I thought you were unable to eat anything with a face on it. Well, it's not that clear, isn't it? These two are such a perfect match for each other. Seeing that father was okay, I became more relaxed as well. Father finished most of the food that I had bought. It's good to have a good appetite. Just hope that his stomachs won't be having problems with this. In the end, all that was left was a box of egg tarts that father requested. They are to be enjoyed as bedtime snacks by him. I then put them into the fridge. Such a good appetite. I really hope that he will be successfully discharged. As I left the ward and once walked towards the lift, a thought came to me from the back of my mind. The girl yesterday, will I get to see her again? As I thought of that, I didn't take the lift and decided to take the stairs instead. As I expected, the girl was not here. Maybe it's because she still hasn't come out, or maybe she's just here to visit yesterday. I felt there was no point to continue waiting. Eventually, I gave up. It would be so good to see her again.
Hey, don't forget to hydrate. Go drink some water.
Yeah, Viddy. I have enough to drink. Thank you for redeeming hydrate. Stretch. Glad you got back home safe, Viddy. Today is the day Father gets discharged. I don't know why, but I have this feeling that something will go wrong. Even if he is discharged today, I would not be surprised if he is back there again the next day for eating too much. No, I wouldn't even be surprised if he got caught for speeding tomorrow. No. He might do things that are even more drastic to let off all his frustrations built during his day in the hospital. Yo, my son. I don't know why, but I was always disturbed by the extremely informal way Father addresses me. He's already changed and seated, chatting with a few of his friends. Oh, Gwigwi. It's been long since I last saw you. Hello, Uncle. In high school now? What high school? He's already in college. Yep, I'm already a college student. Time flies, doesn't it? It still feels like yesterday to see you running around the house in your diapers. Had everything that happened in between been so easily forgotten? Off with your crap talk, have you gotten yourself a girlfriend? Not yet. Any targets so far? I don't have anyone in mind. Still none? Did your father not pass it down to you? It's still too early to tell, but back when we were all trying to woo your mom, only Wei succeeded. That's right, Wei's the best in this amongst us all. Just tell me if you all accept defeat. Of course we do. That's what we're here to argue about. You're simply just a playboy. Look at how honest and decent your son is. Quick, teach him some of your ways to help him get a girlfriend. My god, that conversation was making me extremely nervous. I desperately tried to signal Mother for help. No response. I just calmly packed my things. Using the excuse of helping out to successfully escape the conversation. Is there anything else I can help to pack? Mother pointed to the side. I followed to look in that direction. All I saw were 5 huge bags in the corner of the room, with the ziplock opened, all filled to the brim. From the shapes of the items in the bag, I could even make out the shape of a tea table that mysteriously disappeared from home quite a while back. You have to bring all these back? Why not just donate everything to the hospital? Nonsense, we're bringing everything back. Uncle Shu drove over to help bring all these back. This means that all these will have to be brought to the car park, am I right? Yeah, I'm counting on you. Spare me, I cried down deep in my heart. The distance from the hospital to the car park was longer than expected. It took me 4 or 5 trips back and forth to finally bring everything over. In the distance I could see Father and his buddies walking over there while chatting happily. It didn't take long for me to hear them as they walked over, especially Father, whose voice is loud as a siren. It's impossible to tell from this group that someone is a patient. If the hospital were to make an advertisement out of this scene, that would definitely go viral. Right after, everyone started squeezing into the vehicle, only to realize that there weren't enough seats for everyone. You can take the metro back. And that is how I got abandoned at the hospital. Oh, right, this is for you. What's that? Egg tarts. Weren't these supposed to be eaten as bedtime snacks? He didn't want them anymore, so they, are cold. Then why give this to me? Isn't it better if you bring it back? Eat them as lunch. If not, they're going to spoil. Saying that, the lot drove off. Looking at the car leave, I was about to let out a sign. Remember to find a girlfriend. The roar from the uncles echoed through the air. Take the train back I shall. I actually not much of an inconvenience to do that. It's just that I'm now really thirsty from all the work done just now. I remember that there's a vending machine in the main hall. And I can find a place to sit down and finish this box of tarts as well. I walked towards the hall thinking of that. I felt a little more relaxed after drinking some fruit juice. Suddenly a tune is broadcasted in the lobby. What's this tune? Sounds like the nursery rhyme that I used to hear a lot when I was young. I did not expect to be able to hear it now. Nostalgia filled the hall. The initially busy atmosphere seemed to relax a little due to the tune. Everyone slowed their paces, some even sitting down to immerse themselves in this moment of rare scenery. I too stopped on my tracks and listened. Wee-woo? Huh? Ah. Yes, it's her, the girl who plays the consortia. Recovering from my shock, I saw that she was just beside me, smiling while looking at me. It's you, Li Jianjun. Yep, it's me. Looks like you still remember me. The girl seemed a little more surprised and blushed a little. Of course I do. I'm really sorry. Can you... you're saying? Actually... Yeonjun raised her hand and pointed at someone behind me. I would like to use the vending machine. Oh, I'm sorry. It is only then that I realized that I was completely blocking off the vending machine. The girl nodded her head as she walked to the vending machine. She slots in a 10-yuan note and presses the button. A bottle of coffee dropped out thereafter. She slowly picked up the bottle. She held the bottle in one hand, put the other onto the cap and tried to turn it. However, her efforts didn't pay off after a long while of trying. Do you need any help? No, it's fine. Just a little more. Come on, give it to me. I took the bottle from her hands, turned off the cap and returned the bottle back to her. Thank you. You're welcome. It's just that the design of the bottle was really bad. I cracked a joke. Adding it, the girl started laughing. She held the bottle in both hands, took a small sip and gulped it down. The action was done with a little difficulty. It was a little worrying to see. That's when I noticed that the girl seemed to look a little weaker than the last time I saw her. Maybe it's just me thinking too much. The girl gave weird facial expressions as she just ate something bad. She picked up the bottle and looked at the description on the bottle. Could it be that you bought the wrong thing? She shook her head. I heard that coffee is really nice, so I want to try it. Don't worry, it's common to not get used to coffee at the start. She is pondering what to do with a bottle of coffee in her hands. She took another sip, but was taken aback by the taste once again. If you don't like it, then change for another one. You can give the bottle of coffee to your parents. The attempt to try coffee ended up in a failure. She looked at me and nodded sadly. Placing the coffee aside, she took out the change from the previous purchase and slotted them in the vending machine. This time, she chose to have milk tea. However, nothing happened. I pressed the button for a few more times. Still, there's no response. Is it because that you put in the wrong amount of money? A red light is showing on the vending machine. I looked at the price. As I had expected, the coffee is 6 yuan, while the milk tea is 5. The girl realized that and stuck her hands into her pockets to look for more change. Unfortunately, nothing else was in her pocket. That will do. I took out a 1 yuan coin and slotted the coin inside. That solved the problem. That's not right. It's fine, it's just 1 yuan. Oh no, I can't. Daddy told me before not to borrow money from strangers. At this point, upon looking at her frowning face, I realized that I had not thought my actions through properly. It isn't a big issue though, as I decided to smoke my way through. However, your teacher definitely taught you that whenever you see someone in trouble, you should do the best of your ability to help the person, am I right? I pointed to her and then to myself. Someone who is in trouble, helping to the best of his ability, isn't it? But... She seems to think that I made some sense, however, she is still struggling in deciding what to do. Looking at her suffering in her own mental battle, I started having this urge to tease her a little. This isn't right, I shouldn't do that. Alright, how about this? You can return me the money after a few days. In this way, the problem will be solved, wouldn't it? Well, okay. She forced a smile, reluctantly accepting my proposal. But how am I going to find you? Well, about that. How about the next time we bump into each other, you can return me the money then? The girl reluctantly agreed to me once again, by saying that I just want to ease her heart and not make her feel too bad. Okay then, you must come, okay? If not, I will feel really guilty. I did not expect this girl to be so principled. Now it's me who was the one feeling bad for trying to trick her. Alright, I will. Well then, 2 days later... Yeonjun, just as I wanted to set a time with her, a familiar face called behind me. I turned back to look. It's the curly-haired girl from before. I remember that she's called Hijia. It's you again. We meet again. Oh, what a coincidence. Don't tell me. Don't make wild guesses. I'm not some kind of bad guy. The girl looked a little shocked at me, guessing her thoughts. If that's so, what are you? I waved the bottle I was holding on my hand. We met while buying drinks. Hijia has helped me pay for drinks and to open them too. Yeonjun showed Hijia the 2 bottles in her hand. What? Yeonjun tried to drink coffee? How is it? What does it taste like? Yeonjun forced a smile, looked at the one that encouraged Yeonjun to try coffee is probably this girl. Looks like it's still too early for you to drink it. So, what are you going to do with the coffee? Do you still want to drink it? Yeonjun shook her head. How about this? Hejia took out a 5 yuan note as well as a 1 yuan coin from her pocket. Since I'm rather thirsty as well, I will have your coffee. But it has been opened. It's not a problem. Hejia stuffed the money into Jianjun's hand and happily took the bottle of coffee. Hejia, no, that's too much. Feeling that it's not right to accept the full price for an open bottle, Jianjun returned the 1 yuan coin to Hejia. Hejia didn't accept it, indicating that it's fine for Yuan to get the money. Jianjun thought for a while. Finally, she decided to pass the 1 yuan coin to me. Alright, I will take that. I accepted the money, feeling a little disappointed. That would mean that I lost the reason for us to meet again. I've been a little too hooked on coffee lately. Doesn't it taste weird? It will start to taste good once you get used to it. And yes, it will taste really good when paired with something sweet. You can try it, Jianjun. Speaking of sweet things, I looked at the box of egg tarts I was carrying and then at Hejia. The lass instantly know what I was implying. Do you want them? Yes. Wow, such a greedy girl. I'm just less shy than as compared to the first time I met you. Your family must be so worried for you outside. It's okay, I can differentiate between good people and bad people and food. Food? Then again, how can I afford to miss these egg tarts from Magenta? It has been left overnight though, definitely not as good as the freshly baked ones. Don't worry, I won't mind. Hejia's face was beaming with pleasure. It almost looked like those exaggerated expressions a cartoon character will make while eating something delicious. It tastes really good after being refrigerated. She took another huge bite as she said that. It was as though it was looking at the animal eating for the first time after days of starving. However, it still seemed a little too vicious. She looked a little like a savage squirrel. Jianjun, do you want one? I'm pass. That's how it should be like for a normal reaction, I thought as I looked at Jianjun. How about you? Allow me to give up. Why? These are so good. Both of you are too polite. It would be good if you were more polite, I thought as I watched the girl devour all the egg tarts and satisfyingly licking her fingers at the end of it. Hejia, here. Jianjun took out a pack of tissue and passed it to Hejia. Hejia pulled out a piece and wiped her hands and mouth. Right after she looked hesitantly at the remaining few tarts in the box. They're all yours if you can finish them all. Wow, such a good person you are. Although I am one, allow me to disagree on your way of judging people. Hejia. Wow, I just remembered that I'm here to take Jianjun back to her ward. Why did I start eating again? Such a familiar sight. Jianjun, let's go back. Well, it's probably time to go back too. As she said that, Hejia ran off and came back with a wheelchair. The wheelchair has been in the middle of the corridor ever since we three started talking. Now I know that it was Hejia who put it there. It's fine, I can walk on my own. No, you don't have... You have done enough walking for the day. You've only just recovered, we can't let your guard down now. Okay. With the drink still in her hand, Jianjun slowly turned around and prepared to sit down. Just as she was about to do that, the wheelchair started rolling backwards. Hold it, I will stop it. Despite using all her might to stop the wheelchair, it was still a little unstable. Be careful, this is not the right way to use it. I walked over briskly, held onto Jianjun and pressed her handbrakes on the wheelchair. With this, the wheelchair stopped moving back and forth. I then raised the footrest on the wheelchair. That will do. Come, sit on it slowly. Thank you. Sit tight, here, raise your feet. As Jianjun sat on the chair, I lowered the footrest for her and then released the brakes. So this is how you operate a wheelchair. Yep, now you know it too, I hope. You can count on me. Okay, here we go. Hejia slowly pushed the wheelchair back. However, before traveling even 5 meters, they started swerving left and right. And of course, hit pillar and all. Are you sure you can do it? It was harder than expected. You must exert an equal strength on both sides. Wow, slow down. Hejia pushed the wheelchair in an inconsistent motion, unable to find balance. It was really frightening watching her push the wheelchair. Careful, watch out for the other people. I'm sorry. Hold on, I think it would be better if I push instead. In the end, I took over Hejia's to send Jianjun back to her ward. How did it turn out this way? Not that hard to see why. One of the wheels is really stiff and therefore makes the wheelchair really easy to go, of course. I wonder that you managed to push this all the way to the hall at the start. I wonder how. Yanjun is so frightened that she's not even talking now. Oh no, I'm so sorry, Yanjun. It's okay. What's wrong? Why is your face so red? Are you okay? Could it be that you're still a little sick? Do you want to lie down for a while? Don't worry, I'm fine. But your face is really red. I'm probably tired from all the walking. Let's go back faster so that Yanjun can rest. A little worried, I hastened my pace. Ah, no, wrong. You overshot. This way. Ah, sorry. Okay, stop. Are we here? Yes. Alright, leave the rest to me. Ah, sure, be careful. Since we have already reached her ward, I should probably leave too, as I am, after all, not a family member of hers. Biwu, thank you so much. It's alright, have a good rest. Ajia then pushed Yanjun back into the ward. The way she pushed the wheelchair really had me worrying till the last moment. In the end, they finally got back into the ward. I turned around prepared to leave. Walking back to the lift lobby, something suddenly struck my mind. I looked at the floor directory. Why is it that only on this floor, where the directory did not state the type of patient that the wards on this floor holds? I felt a little uneasy, but decided not to push further. Unless, I never expected it would be so hard to write a report regarding the Book of Changes. Looks like I signed up for the wrong subject. That's what you get for being late. When choosing my subject courses, I did not expect the slots for the popular subjects to be gone in such an instant. By the time I managed to enter the damned website to pick my subject, the Book of Changes was the only subject left with slots available. Why am I, someone who is studying in law, forced to take a subject as irrelevant as this? This doesn't make any sense. What worse is that I even have to write reports. Wait, I just remembered. The teacher teaching the Book of Changes is the same person as the one teaching Marxist philosophy. This really does not make sense at all. And still, I have to do the reports. The notes that I took during class is a mess, and not in any way understandably. Basically, that's what I need to now search for materials that I can actually use. Mom, I'm going to the library. Is there anything that you need me to buy on the way back? You're going to the supermarket? Library. Of course, I will probably pass by the supermarket. Hold on. Mom, what I meant was that I will probably pass by the provision shop, not the hypermarket. This checklist with almost 50 items in it. Just bring back whenever you can get. The items with the star besides are, however, a must. Yet more than half of the items on the list has a star beside them. Even though father has already been discharged, he still needs a great deal of care for the next few days. As a result, Mom must stay home for most of the time. And probably because of that, there is now a shortage for daily essentials. Thus, grocery shopping became the key objective for my trip, while doing research became the secondary. The grocery bag is already full. There are still a few items left on the checklist that hasn't been bought. Puffed rice. What time of the year does Mom think she's in now? It is already near summer in the city. Traditional food like this can only be found during the New Year's period. It can't be helped. I took out my phone and called home. Mom? Finished with shopping? Almost. However, there aren't any puffed rice to be found. There isn't any in the supermarket? Nope. How about the wet market? I've searched. The back gate of your school? I just passed by, didn't see any either. The alley behind the police station? Even if there's any, they would have been long caught before I reached. They are all unlicensed traders. Looks like it really can't be helped. Yeah, I shall make my way. Go to Shihamafeng then. What? Grandma's place? There's a stall there that sells it every day. Wait, Shihamafeng is a half-hour metro ride away. What time is it already? What other choices do we have? Your dad wants to eat puffed rice and pork stew. Dad wants it? Alright, I'll go. I let out a huge sign as I hung up the phone. All I wanted to do was find some study materials. "5 minutes to the station and 20 minutes to my destination. The location of Shihamafeng's metro station, Horse Dismount Archway, used to be the entrance to the mausoleum of Ming Dynasty emperors. Officials at the time were forbidden to travel on horseback and only allowed to walk on foot once they entered this place. Most of the ancient structures and buildings are gone by now. All that's left are the name and the stories of the place. I was confused the moment I stepped out of the station, although there is near where grandmother lives. I have never really been around this place before. Even Mom herself can't really pinpoint the location of the stall. She told me to ask around once I'm there. Who can I possibly ask on a busy street like this? Oh, don't tell me I would need to seek a policeman for help. With no alternative, I decided to look around first by myself. And half an hour later, I'm back where I started. This is the same as finding a needle in a haystack. Walking down on one street and after asking several passerby, none of them knew anything about the stall. Looks like I'm destined to return empty-handed from this trip. The huge bag of groceries that I'm holding right now makes me dread every next step that I take. Looks like I can only go back. The events fate has in store are unpredictable, just as I was about to hop onto the metro home. A couple walks towards the station from afar, holding a huge bag of puffed rice. At the right time too, as I would have never noticed that during normal times. I went up to them immediately. Hello, sorry to disturb you. Yes? I only realized when I stood close the person in front of me was really special. She has what looks like to be natural light-colored hair and her eyes were the same color. She was also wearing a pair of spectacles. An alt-white dress and she seemed was wearing her, making her stand out even more. Most importantly, the woman gives off an indescribable aura. She seemed a little sickly, but her eyes gave out such radiance. Suddenly I'm at a loss for words. Hello? Ah, I'm sorry, well, I want to ask you, where did you buy the puffed rice from? Upon hearing that, the couple seemed a little surprised. They looked at each other and started giggling. The lass had guessed it right. Of course, she is my sister after all. Ah, what? Apologies, we had a bet with someone earlier, I didn't expect that. Go straight and turn into the second alley. Continue straight up on turning and then go left at the first junction. She said while trying to illustrate the way to me with her fingers. I tried my best to understand, but ended up getting confused again. Sis, how do you expect people to understand with the way you are explaining? You will see a market after entering the alley. Go straight. There will be an estate area on the left area of the first junction. Enter it and you will see the stall. The man's detailed description gave me a rough idea on how to get there. Ah, I see. Thank you so much. I searched all around and still couldn't find it. Yes, it's rather hard to find. We came just for this too. If you are intending to buy it, then you might want to hurry. When we were there just now, the owner of the stall is closing the shop soon. There aren't much of puffed rice left too. Ah, is that so? I guess I will have to hurry then. Thank you so much. No worries, hurry up and go. Following the instructions, I entered the alley and continued my search. As expected, there is a gate to the estate with the name of Tia Jungmin, Blacksmith Camp. Looks like there is some history behind this place. Entering the gate and after walking for a few meters, I saw the vendor selling the puffed rice. He looks to be of a considerable age, but still seemed to be rather lively. Beside him, packs of puffed rice and popcorn are stacked up neatly in paper bags. How much for the puffed rice? 4 yuans per pack. Give me 4 then. I hope there's enough stock. Yeah, just enough actually. I wouldn't have been able to give you if you ask for more. If you're a lucky lad, this is my last year out here opening the stall. Ah, I see, then this trip of mine isn't wasted then. I came all the way from Sujiang Road. Wow, that's really far. Here you go. What a cheerful and sociable old man. Just as I was about to receive the goods upon paying, a new customer had arrived at the shop. Hello, is there any puffed rice left? The customer was a man wearing a light brown jacket and probably in his 40s. He was very neatly dressed, even though he wasn't wearing anything fancy or expensive. To be exact, he looked like a government official from the old movies. He looked rather tired and in a hurry as well. Oh my, what's up with today? Why has something that no one wants on normal days become so popular today? As he said that, the old man pointed at me. This lad here is taking the last bag. The old man had just finished talking. The customer immediately asked in pursuit. Not even 1 pack left? When is the earliest time that they will still be available? I'm done for the day. Why not you two split it amongst yourself? I'm fine with that. How many do you want? 1. Okay, actually 2, if that's possible. No worries, pick the ones you want. Thank you so much. My daughter is craving for them. I've searched everywhere but couldn't find them. Same here. I've came a long way for this too. Oh no, I'm so sorry about this. It's okay, I bought extra because they were so hard to come by. I don't need so many of them. The man gave me a nod of gratitude. He took his package of rice and started leaving after paying. He turned back after walking for a while and said, "Thanks again, young man." "It's fine, don't worry about it." The man left in a hurry. I looked at the 2 packs of puffed rice I was holding in my hands. "Sir, I believe there is still popcorn left. Can I have 2 packs of those too?" "Sure thing." Upon picking all the goods after paying, I can't help but dread the trip home whilst carrying everything. Forget it. At least the mission is accomplished. Oh, popcorn. Damn, I missed those. How about puffed rice? There's 2 packs here. Today's the last day that the stall would operate. It's good enough. Come and have some popcorn. No, go wash the dishes. You're ill-treating a patient here. You certainly don't look like a patient. I'll go instead. Ah, good. Father grabbed me again as I turned around. Here, have some popcorn. It's a traditional snack. Wait, I will take it myself. No, there's no more space left. Before I could even react, my hands were already full with popcorn. Alright, off you go. What am I supposed to do? And that was the end of chapter 1. I hope you all enjoyed this first look at this visual novel. I know it starts like off a little bit slow, but it has some fun things to it. I might like play this a little bit like before going to bed or something. I hope you all very much enjoyed this. And I will see you all again next time. Bye guys.